Hey everyone, Nerdy Dan's here. Now, if you've ever watched any of the stuff on my channel before, you may have noticed that I have this slight obsession with a Chinese horror movie company called Filmoon. I just love the stuff that they produce. It is so terribly bad and looks so cheap and nasty. And it usually is. But there's just an intricate charm to it that can only be done through Chinese filmmaking because of all of their restrictions. So what I did, something I've wanted to do for a while, I've clipped all the intros to all of their films, and we're gonna have a look at them and have a little commentary with them. This is going to be maybe a 2 or 3 part video series because it's going to end up being quite long. And these are just these movies. They just start off with a big bang. Like they use all of their budget for this intro, and then the rest of the movie ends up being rather crap. So it's always the intros of these movies that are the worth watching. So we're going to start off with the introduction to Frightening Embroidery Shoes, which has probably one of the craziest names of any of the Chinese movies that they've done. And we're going to check that out. And once we've done, we'll come back, we'll have a little bit of a chat about it, and then we'll go into the next one. So first up, here is Frightening Embroidery Shoes. That's a fun way to start this video. It's always typically insane Filmoon intro, Frightening Embroidery Shoes. Now, one thing I love about all of their movies, and you'll see them in every clip that we look at, are those title cards. I love these title cards. Now, this is one of the rare intros where it actually kind of tells you what's going to happen in the movie. Unlike a lot of the other intros that are pretty bland, This one actually leads into what the movie's about. Now, we've got the crazy woman who's in a dream. So I'll spoil it. She's in a dream where she's dreaming about getting these embroidered shoes from a mysterious, beautiful, and as you saw in the clip, naked woman who ends up being her grandmother or grandmother's mother. Yes, ends up being her grandmother's mother. So you see her grandmother at the end where she puts, or is she actually the grandmother? It's something weird like that. There's a relationship actually between them. But you can see from that, the bad acting, the voice dubbing is always the worst in these movies. That awful, awful voice dubbing. And the music gets recycled through all of the Filmoon movies. So that's in Frightened Embroidery Shoes. It actually leads into a rather terrible film, a really, really terrible film, potentially one of the worst of all of the Filmoon movies. And that woman in it is just a shockingly bad actress who kind of ruins all of them, the whole film. But does have a good intro, does get you kind of in the mood. Now, let's go on to the next one, which is going to be, I believe it's called, let's have a quick look, Midnight Sisters. Now, I don't remember too much about this film. I remember it not being that great of a film. So the intro might not be that great. But let's check it out anyway. This is Midnight Sisters.
准备好了吗？我来喽，小雪，小雪，小雪，你在哪儿？妈妈来喽！ 小雪，哎，小雪，
So that one started slow, and I'll admit that one's really annoying. There's a lot to unpack from that one. The furniture, horrible. The acting, horrible. The voice dubbing, horrible. The rubber mask that the rapist uses, horrible. The attempted rape is actually pretty horrible, especially since the woman's daughter is right there. And then there's this mysterious fire that breaks out of nowhere because we don't actually see what causes the fire. Was it the sheer curtain blowing into the fire that caused it to catch on fire and then thus the rest of the house to catch on fire? Is the kid that stupid that she can't move? And what's with the thunderstorm? This is one thing that's actually always kind of irritated me about Filmoon movies, is how violent and over the top these thunderstorms are in the film. Here, thunderstorms are not like that. And I've been in China when it's thundering. It's not like that at all. So this is obviously some kind of horror movie attempt at thunder. Anyway, that's Midnight Sisters. It isn't, again, not a great film. It's about a woman who ends up having a bit of mental illness over the death of her child and goes to live with her brother and sister-in-law and their kid, and then starts mistaking their kid for her daughter, I think. It's crap. Don't bother with it. But, and again, the intro probably wouldn't have got you in the mood for it either. Now, 3 left for this episode. One of, I think this is kind of one of my favorites, potentially. Under the Bed 2. Because what the hell has it got to do with being under the bed? Let's check out the intro to Under the Bed 2.
喂，你是灵儿吗？
是我啊，
我是你老乡小玉的同学小峰。你来过我们宿舍，我就住她上铺。小玉她今天去你家了吗？
没有啊。那小玉没回老家吗？
没有，我们准备在假期打工，所以就没回去。
那她是不是住到其他宿舍了？
不会啊，全楼都空了，只留下我俩了。
啊，那她会去哪啊？
她2天都没回来了，也没给我留个话，我挺担心她的。没事儿，我再来回找找。你知道我胆小的。幻觉，一定是幻觉。 小月，是你回来了吗？你这几天死哪儿去了？喂，你说话呀！谁呀？你怎么拿着小月的电话？小月是不是在你那儿？ 你到底是谁呀？谁和你是好朋友？你到底是谁？你在胡说什么？你给我闭嘴！谁呀？小月，是小月吗？
好朋友，背靠背，好朋友，背靠背。
How's that one, huh? Nice and long. Lot there to unpack. Under the Bed 2. Now, this is an interesting one because, again, actually, you know what? I said before that a lot of the intros don't kind of blend in with the rest of the movies. There must be some of the crapper ones later on because this one actually does also kind of foretell a bit of what happens later on in the film. So that dormitory where she's in ends up getting abandoned. And the characters in the movie go to that dormitory later on to do a bit of research. So you can see that the dormitory looks really shit. And that bathroom where she's washing her teeth, ugh, it looks just does not look pretty. Why would you want to go there? And that ghost plays a part later on in the movie. I do like the horror scenes in it. It's interesting how they've tried to make it feel like she's going a bit crazy and how this ghost is trying to play tricks with her mind. I also find it interesting that she's got that typical Thai girl tattoo on her back for a Chinese girl. So perhaps this actress is not... perhaps she's not Chinese. I'll have to check up the list of that. But again, of course, it has that really bad dubbing of the voices over the top of it, which is very famous for Filmoon, and the ridiculous lightning. Lightning is also in the film as well. In regards to anything being under the bed, this ghost seemed to be under her bunk bed, but under the second level of her bunk bed. So is that still considered to be under the bed? And the bloody basketball. One vital clue that the movie does give you there is the whole good friends back to back. It's actually a motif that's used later on in the movie. I hate to say that the movie has depth and the intro leads to that depth, but surprisingly it does. So that was Under the Bed 2. In another video, we're going to look at Under the Bed 3's intro. But coming up now is my favorite of all Filmoon movies. Not necessarily my favorite intro, but my favorite movie of all of them. And that is Ghost in Barbers. Now, this one is crazy. This is about a barber shop in the countryside that also doubles up as a hotel. Crazy idea, right? And there's a plot here to do with poachers, animal poachers, and the person who protects the forest from the animals. So let's check out the intro to Ghost in Barbers.
有人吗？有人在吗？
哎呦，真对不住您，这大晚上的把您吓坏了吧？您来这儿是住店还是剪头啊？
剪，也住。
山里的新茶，醒脑提神的。
哎，你这又是干什么？
本店的规矩，凡是重要的客人都要用新的工具，以示尊重。
哎呀，没想到你们这荒山野岭的小店儿，还有这么多名堂。
顾客至上嘛。请问您想剪个什么样的头型？
短一点，变化越大越好，最好是能让人认不出来我。啊，对了，回头给我弄一顶像这样的假发，啊。
明白了。
我先睡一会儿，剪完了叫我啊。
好。
再给你敷个面膜，好好享受。受苦吗？那些被你杀死的小动物们，你痛苦1000倍。去死吧！
Ghost in Barbers, my favorite of all the Filmoon movies. And that one, there is a lot to unpack with that intro. The obvious one is the misspelling of barbers. Well, technically not a misspelling, just a strange apostrophe that doesn't need to be there. But there's a lot that I need to talk about in this intro. Firstly, in the forest, how does the ghost float, or how does the woman float in the air? Now we know that it's not a ghost. We know that it's someone stalking him in the forest. Again, with the violent lightning storm. Again, with the dubbing. Now, you can tell at the end, the dubbing, when she, as the ghost, is giving him a haircut, that her mouth is saying something completely different. They just dubbed over the top of it. Again, it's really done to save time with these movies. Done really cheap, really quick. They just get the actors to mumble whatever it is. It kind of sounds very similar to the line. And then a couple of days later, in post-production, they just re-record all the audio. There is some weird things there. Like the guy makes a point. The poacher makes a point. You know, he didn't expect a shop in the middle of this place, in the middle of the night. He also says I didn't expect it to have so many rules. Where she says she wants to bring out a new set of scissors and blades to cut his hair. Another thing is, who the hell falls asleep during a haircut? He brought that on himself by falling asleep during that haircut. And then that, which you kind of don't really see. You kind of see it at the end. But there's this modified thing that dries your hair. You know, I don't know what it is. I don't use one because I don't have a hairdryer. There's this modified hairdryer that looks like this massive gun that she points at him towards the end. Now, the actual intro doesn't really make too much sense because the next scene actually plays into what happened in the intro. When the guy in the barbershop wakes up, comes down in the morning and is like, what is all this? What's going on here? Why is there blood? Why is the hairdryer out for? It also doesn't make sense that this guy would see the woman because technically she's already dead at this point, the woman in the film. But again, it doesn't need to make sense. That's the great part about these Filmoon intros. They don't make any logical sense. And by the end of the film, you're supposed to have forgotten all about everything. But these are great ways to start the film. So that is Ghost in Barbers. And I really, really like the film on that one. It is not a great film by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just the idea of the plot is crazy. Final one for this episode is Haunted Cinema 2. We'll have a look at Haunted Cinema 1 in another episode, but this is Haunted Cinema 2. So let's go check that one out. Ooh. It seems that maybe I had to cut this one out because maybe YouTube didn't like it or someone who held a copyright to something didn't like showing this one. So my apologies that this one got cut out. Let's get on to the next one. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. This is the first of 3 episodes that we will do to look at these intros of these crazy Filmoon movies, these crazy intros of these crazy movies. We looked at, in this episode, we looked at Frightening Embroidery Shoes, Haunted Sisters, Under the Bed 2, Ghost in Barbers, and The Haunted Cinema 2. In the next episode, which is probably the most exciting one, and copyright dependent, we can actually show all these, Haunted Dormitory, White Paper Girl, Haunted Dormitory Marionette Teacher, Midnight Whisper, Mother's Revenge, The Bride with Painted Skin, and the first Haunted Cinema. So that's hopefully the lineup for the next episode. I've been the Artie Dance. Thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoy me on my crazy crusade in watching Filmoon movies. I'll catch you next time. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and do all that other shit that YouTube is asking you to do. And I will catch you next time.